All right, good morning, class. All right, good morning, class. We're talking about parabolas, and during block 8, we actually really got a chance to go through some, and I'm really pleased. We even had a student teacher. One of your student teachers is in the room, and Mr. Applewhite. Everybody give Mr. Applewhite a hand clap. So Mr. Applewhite actually really understands the concept as well as the actually using, actual problems. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to go over these first again very quickly. These are already on the web. It's called, I think, something about parabolas with the student teacher. And so we had Mr. Lobbins and Mr. Applewhite come up to the board and demonstrate. So I'm going to get you to take some notes very quickly, and then I'll try to work some extra problems today, and then you will have some homework that you will have to bring in on Friday for these particular type problems. Okay? All right. So our first problem is written right here. What we're actually talking about here is we are talking about graphing in transformational form. Okay? Graphing in transformational form. And we can locate the vertex. We can locate the focus, the axis of symmetry, directrix, and the max and min. These are the things that we can locate. And also, the three variables that we're mainly kind of have to focus on are H, K, and P for this exercise. H, K, and P. So I'll just put those items over here. Again, the vertex, the focus, axis of symmetry, directrix, and the max and min. All right, let me go ahead on and tell you now. I'm going to put this, of course, this is being filmed. This will be loaded to the Bush Math class on YouTube. So I want you to know, class, that you need to always check Bush Math class. Just like I had asked you to check Schoology, you need to check Bush Math class before you come to class and look at all videos since your last class meeting. If you're absent, please use Bush Math class for your convenience so that you know what was going on in class. It would be best for you to go, and if you were absent, go ahead and take those notes and come back to class. You'll be better prepared. You won't walk in cold. So we're not going to depend on our parents anymore to forward text messages. I will not be texting parents anymore. It is your responsibility to go to Bush Math class on YouTube prior to your class meet and get any and all information. Now, I would also suggest, not only if you're absent, but it would also help you, you know what, you're actually block 3. On 3 and 5, you're actually going to get it before 2 and 4, but it'll be there for you to review, okay? Because 3 and 5, typically, because I see you, actually it's going to switch. I was told it's going to switch, right, Ms. Patty? Yes. It's going to switch after January, so I think we will be going to 2-4 on Monday, and then we'll be doing 3-5 on Tuesday, in which case 2-4 we'll get the lesson before you do, and you can watch it before you come to class and be ready. You can actually be ready on the 3-5. Are there any questions about what I just said? Okay, thank you very much. Because again, I'm not going to be texting your parents anymore. Your responsibility, Bush Math class. Everybody say Bush Math class?
Bush Math class.
On YouTube. No spaces on YouTube. All right. So, once again, here are things we're looking for with our parabolas that we talked about on Monday. We talked about the concept. Our equations that we're going to use are x minus h, that quantity squared, equals 4p times the quantity of y minus k. We're also, again, the other equation is the quantity of y minus k squared equals 4p times the quantity of x minus h. Remember that the x always goes with the h, and the k always goes with the y. Okay. So once again, it's important that you know that we're going to focus on h, k, p. We also may talk about a before this is over with, because p and a are reciprocals, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I want you to just get familiar with p for right now, the p value. We're also going to be using x and y, of course, and we're also going to use a capital F. The capital F, we will designate that for our focus. Capital D will designate for our directrix. And the capital B will designate for our vertex. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with problem number 1. Problem number 1 is as follows. The quantity of x minus 3, get darker markers. The quantity of x minus 3 squared equals 12 times y minus 7. We're all taking notes at this time. What we want to do is, we want to graph this. And in order to graph it, we actually need to know which equation are we going to use. The first one, okay? So I didn't actually leave enough room up here to write it, so I'm going to squeeze it up here. X minus h quantity squared equals 4p times y, thank you, y minus k. Alright, I know it's okay, so that's the equation we're going to use. With that, the next step would be to identify your vertex, because that is given in this equation. The vertex can be lifted. Everybody say lifted. Lifted. Out of the problem. Out of the problem. Lifted. So the vertex is h comma k, which is what? We want the h value first, right? That class, don't get it mixed up, okay? Because notice here, the h value is here, but right here, this is the what value? The k value. Here's the what? K value, and that's the h value. So when you look at your the problem, the example that you're going to use, make sure you identify h and k correctly. And we will always change the sign as well. So this will be a positive 3, right? And a positive 7, okay? So let's go ahead on and draw us a graph. And so we're going to go positive 3 and 7. And we're going to put a B there for vertex, right? Okay, now, I need to know if the graph opens up, down, left, right. I want to find I got to find the focus, the axis of symmetry, the directions. I need to know maximum. I need to know all of these things. And right now, the only thing I have is the vertex. So where do I need to go from there? Okay, we can go ahead and locate our axis of symmetry if we like. That's fine. Well, we know that our axis of symmetry is going to be what? 3. Do we know that for a fact? Yeah. Are you sure? Okay, watch this. I don't want to confuse you, but what if I drew the axis? What if I told you my axis of symmetry was 7? That's right. Very good, Omari. Did everyone just understand what he said? Okay, say it, Omari. Do you understand that? Explain that to me. Speak a little bit louder so that because we're recording and I do want you to.
Okay, you say if you go down 7 more, then you do the axis of symmetry 7.
Well, they said we can locate our axis of symmetry. I was like, okay, our axis of symmetry, everybody thought it might be, say, 3, right? Yeah. But I'm telling you there's a possibility that the axis of symmetry could be y equals 7. It may not be x equals 3. It could be y equals 7. The vertex will still be correct because the axis of symmetry. You're getting there. Positive, negative has something to do with it. Amadou?
Because our parabola is opening in a vertical way. It means like the vertex point is going to be in the middle, so like you're going to change direction in the middle, so it's going to be opening in a y, so it's y.
Okay, he said the key thing first. He said because our parabola is opening in a vertical way. That's all really he needed to say. Because our parabola is opening in a vertical way. You have to know that. Because once again, class, our parabolas, they can open left, right, up, or what? Down. And when they open left and right, that's called what? Horizontal. Very good. And when they open up and down, that's called what? Vertical. So, before you draw your axis of symmetry, you need to know if it's opening horizontal or vertical, because that's going to depend on whether or not your axis of symmetry falls vertical or horizontal. Because remember, the parabola is symmetric. Everybody say symmetric. It is symmetric with the axis of symmetry, and it depends on which way it is. So, how do we know whether or not it's horizontal or vertical? That's the key. Well, let's look at it conceptually. Let's back up again. What did you say? The equation tells us.
So actually working out, then you would know. But actually do like.
Just the equation.
Just looking at it. Just like you look and find the vertex, you can look and find. Let me tell you the concept behind it, okay?
Because if it's negative, it's going to open left and right. And if it's positive,
Depending on the negative and the light.
That's the negative sign does have something to do with it, okay? The negative sign has to do with whether or not. Let me clear up Omari, and then I'll let you want to respond to Omari. Okay, let me respond to Omari, then I'll let you add to that for the class. Omari, the negative sign has to do with, if it's negative, it's going to open either down or left. If it's positive, it's going to open either right or up. But we still need to know if it's going to be horizontal or vertical. Okay, because you have two options on the negative and two options on the positive. Okay, so let's figure out. Okay, did everybody understand what I just said? Somebody tell me what I just said. And I need you to stand up so I can hear you. Please. So that gives us, finish the statement, two options. Okay. So she's just, again, if it's negative, it's going to open down or left. Okay. If it's positive, it'll open right or up. But that still don't tell me which one it is, because one of them horizontal, the other one's vertical. Okay, come on, speak up, Mr. Applewhite.
What's 9? For the problem, you got the 8. It's going to be on the x-axis. It's minus 51. And if it was y, it was going to be on the y-axis.
Okay, once again, children, you have to understand the concept. That's the only way you're going to be able to work math. You can't just arbitrarily work math or try to follow some steps. You really need to understand in your mind what's going on. And what we're saying here is that the x is squared. The x quantity is squared. So put in your notes, given that this x quantity is squared here, let's put it right here. Let's put x squared. Let's draw x squared in a little. If the x is squared, that means positive 3 squared will give me a 9, positive 9, right?
Yes,
Will a negative 3 squared give me a positive 9, right? So I'm working with these two squared quantities. That means my graph has to open what? Up or down. Do you see that? I'm working with a squared quantity. I'm working with a squared quantity. On the x, that is. Are there any questions about that? Okay. So we know that the graph will open up or down. Now we know that P is going to be what? We can see that P is going to be 3. It's going to be positive. So we know our graph will open what? Now we can begin to do something. So we know if open up. Now we could actually do our axis of symmetry if we wanted to, because we know it's opening up. So I could do my axis of symmetry. And what is the equation for this line?
Over H.
No, what is the equation for this? Someone told me we could go ahead and draw our axis of symmetry. What is the equation for the line? It's right here, class. It's right. X equals 3. Do we see that, class? X equals 3? Okay. So we'll put axis of symmetry. X equals 3. So now we found that. All right. We found the. What else do we need to find? The focus and the directrix. Okay, let's find. Okay, if we find the focus, we can find the directrix. Why? I need somebody to stand and tell me why. Amadou, stand up and tell me why.
Because the focus and the P are the focus and the P are the same length from the vertex. So if we go up a certain amount, the focus is going to go back to the same amount.
Okay, did everyone hear him?
To the direction.
Okay, here's what he said. He said because if we find the focus, we know that the distance from the vertex to the focus is the same distance from the vertex to the directrix. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of words, but it's very simple if we practice and we look at the videos and we practice and study our notes, okay? Here's what we're saying. First, we need to find P. So let's find P over here now. 4P equals 12. P equals 3. That tells us the distance from the vertex. Let's go up 3 from the vertex. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3. So this right here is our focus. And the focus is always inside the parabola. Okay? Now, if I know the focus, I also know the directrix because I can come down from the focus 1, 2, 3. And that line is my directrix. There's my capital D.
You said 3 down from the vertex?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am, it is. So let me put some more color on that. So what I'm telling you is that this distance right here is P distance, and this distance right here is P distance.
So you gotta find the focus before you find the direction. You gotta find P before you find E.
You gotta find P. If you find P, you can go to either one. If you find P, you can go from the vertex to the directrix, or you can go from the vertex to the focus. Because it's the same distance. Okay? Everybody, I need you to repeat after me. The focus is some distance P from the vertex. The directrix is that same distance P to the vertex. Okay, is that in your notes? I'll give you a moment to write that in your notes. So, now that you have that in your notes, we want to identify a max or a mean. Which one do we have? How do you know? It opens up. And really what I was kind of wanting to hear you say is that this would be the lowest point on the graph, right? The turning point, that vertex right there, correct? Okay. So what is our minimum value? Somebody other than Omari? It's 7. Okay? So the minimum value is what? Y equals 7. Okay? So let's talk about, I want to put it in context of domain and range because I will be asking you this on the Parabolas project, on the trifold that you're going to do over break. That big, huge project we talked about. Let's talk about domain and range. So in your notes, put domain. So how will we write our domain for this parabola? Okay, anyone, not you, Applewhite. I'm trying to get some of my other babies. Let's go. We're trying to go back to like what, 3rd week of school, 4th week of school? It is positive infinity, but you give me a little bit more than that.
It's open bracket, negative infinity close bracket.
Not bracket. Not hard when you talk about infinity. Solve. Very good. Okay, so let's try it the first way we're going. Let's try set builder notation first, and then we'll use yours. Set builder notation. You have the little squiggly brace, and say everybody say X, such that X is contained in all real numbers. Remember that? Because aren't we going to touch all X values with this parabola? Right, class? We are going to touch all x values. Now let's write it the way Miss Ross said it. Miss Ross said soft, right? Negative infinity, comma what? That's another way we can write it. Alright, and let me give you one more notation for this one. It would be negative infinity is less than x, and x is less than positive infinity. So you can use either of those designations for your domain. Now for your range, let's go ahead and go with the range, y'all. Y'all ready? Let's use set builder notation. What are we going to have? The squiggly brace. The brace. For the range. Why? Such that. Okay, now hold on, Apple White. Why such that? Why, babies? Why? What else? Huh?
Want to be the good exciting? No, you don't use the all because it's not. It's
Very good, Ross.
I think I mean it's 7. Well, it's E7. It's E7. No, when I say E.
Right now.
Greater than, less than.
Which one?
Greater than. No, less than 7.
You mean to tell me this graph is less than 7? The graph is down here.
More than 7.
Well, we don't say more than. We say
Greater than or equal to.
greater than. Thank you, Mr. Sutton. Greater than or equal to 7. Okay. Another way to write that, Miss Chandra. But what goes before the positive infinity? No, not on this one.
The hard break.
Hard bracket what? Come on.
No, positive. Oh, we doing the Y.
We're doing the Y now. We're doing all possible Y values for the range.
No,
Thank you. Yeah, he got it. 7 comma infinity soft. Very good. All right. Let's get ready for problem number 2. All right, problem number 2, and I'm going to go through the next one quite fast so that we can really get this. The quantity of y minus 4 squared equals 20 times x plus 2. I did leave some room on top this time so I can actually write that particular, which equation we're going to use, 1 or 2? We're going to use the second one. So what is it? Y minus k, quantity squared equals 4p or p, x minus h. All right, so the first thing we want to do, we know what we want to find. What do we want to find? Find our vertex. So what is our vertex class?
Negative 2.
Negative 2 and what? Positive 4. Very good. Okay? So we come over here, negative 2 and positive 4. Alright, can I draw my axis of symmetry? I can? We just had that discussion.
You gotta look at it and find it. You gotta look at the equation.
I gotta understand the concept. I gotta understand how it's opening. How is it opening?
It's gonna open to the right.
Ariana Grande had a song about it.
It's gonna open to the right. Down.
What is called?
Side to side. Which way is it gonna open? That, come on, class. Which quantity is squared? Come on, draw it in your notes. If y is squared, we can have some y value here, so it's gonna open what? It's gonna open this way, left or right. Okay, right? Right, class? So which way is it gonna open? Is p positive or negative? Positive. You can see it? Okay, so let's go ahead and get it. 4p equals what? 20.
It's 5.
P equals what?
5.
P equals 5. It's positive. So my graph is going to open what? Right or left?
Right.
It's going to open right. So now that I know it's going to open right, I know where the vertex is, and the focus. I know where the focus is, and I also know where the directrix is. Chandra, where is the focus always going to be located? No, the vertex would be in the middle of the two. It's going to be up.
Well, no, it's going to go side.
Well, I'm asking a general question. Where is the focus always located?
On the
Front of the parabola.
In the y-axis. On the axis.
Oh, guys, this is parabola.
Okay, I'll go with that, Amari, on the axis of symmetry. But that, okay, all right, hold on. We know it's going to, okay, hold on. Is this my axis of symmetry?
Yes.
It is? Okay, so you telling me I can put my focus back here?
It's going to go above the axis.
No, it's going to be parabola.
He just told me my focus can go on the axis of symmetry.
It can't go on the outside. This is like this. So how we
Okay, I like you said outside. So what's the opposite of outside? Let's say it goes inside the parabola, okay? All right? So, our p-value is 5, so we're going to go 5 from our -2, right, class? So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Yeah, that's it, right? That's the focus right there. This is the vertex, okay? All right, I'm just doing a rough sketch. So it's always on the inside, and we went over 5, correct? So what are the coordinates of our focus? So we didn't get that in the last problem. What are the coordinates of our focus?
I need 5 and 4. No.
3 and 4.
3, 4. Do you see that? Now, you went over 5.
Count with those. We just count on this side. But whichever side.
You count the 5 units. You count the 5 units so you can mark your actual the point for the focus. But when you want to know where it is on the graph, you actually have to use the regular coordinate plane and say this is 1, 2. That's x equals 3, and the y equals 4. Are there any questions about that? Okay, now we did have to go over 5 from the vertex. We did. Our p-value. We had to go over 5 from the vertex. But if I want to know actually where that point is sitting on the coordinate plane, this is 0, 0 right here. This is 0, 0. So I actually have to go up 1, 2, 3, and I have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're at 3, 4 for the focus. Okay. What about our axis of symmetry, class? It's an equation. What is it? Y equals 4. You can't just say 4, Amari. You have to. It's an equation. You have to say it's a vertical, a horizontal line, and you have to say y equals 4. Now, what about our directrix? We got to start. Everybody say start at the vertex. Go back 5. Okay, you all do that on your paper. So what is the equation for my directrix? Class, this is one of the reasons why I asked you to write down what you heard in the tutorials. I asked you to write down things that you heard so that you will be able to give some sort of input into class and be able to follow it. That's the whole premise of the flipped classroom that I talked to you about. I need you to be able to give some sort of, I wanted you to have a warm, fuzzy feeling about what we were doing in class. Okay, but it's x equals, okay. I'm going to right now show you your homework. Let's see if I can get it. Ooh. Okay, class. Here are your homework problems here. I'm actually putting them on the video, so I'll give you a moment to write it down. You are dismissed, but I'm actually giving you your homework problems right here. Thank you. Have a nice day.